WTF! WTF!
Guten Tag, I am Ross from Cultaholic.com. You're my sexual wank pheasants, and welcome to all of the WTF moments from the go-home episode of WWE Raw for WrestleMania. Although this has to go down as one of the worst go-home shows to WrestleMania in the history of go-home shows to WrestleMania. It didn't feel special, it didn't make me want to tweak my nipples in excitement for WrestleMania. It felt like any other episode of WWE Raw. Let's get cracking with the knacking, but we're kicking off with this.
Wankety wank, wankety wank. Wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank.
And just like in blankety blank, where you fill in the blanks, wankety wank is a section of WTF moments where a sexual wank pheasant tweets me with a WTF moment that I have missed from a WWE show, and I give them all of the credit because I'm a wholesome human being. Thank you to Fardine, who points out that Michael Cole is a lying bastard. And sticking with Michael Cole, I'm going to give you what I can only describe as a bit of a poo bum WTF moment because it's raining outside and I'm not in a very good mood. Michael Cole, we are not 7 days removed from WrestleMania. If people turn on their television exactly 7 days removed from the point in which you said that sentence at the start of last night's show, they would have missed WrestleMania altogether and they would be watching the Raw after WrestleMania. Think about it, you plum.
Made a grave mistake, Corey.
Whoa, 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 Corey Graves, hang on there, son. Saying that Stephanie McMahon quite literally grew up inside of a wrestling ring is all kinds of Pete Tong. That's wrong. She didn't want to grow up to be a wrestler, she wanted to grow up to be an executive with massive sweet lady balls. Her youth wasn't spent inside of a wrestling ring honing her craft with the aim of becoming one of the GOATs, balls. It was spent stood next to a wrestling ring looking at people like an arsehole being an utter bitch with lovely balls. There's a massive difference, Corey. Oh, Triple H is not wearing his wedding ring and he's seemingly getting away with it. Run away now, Paul, get away while you can. And sticking with that big-nosed bastard, he then claims that Kurt Angle won his Olympic gold medal with a frickin' broken neck. That's not how it goes, Assassin Cerebral, Kings of King, Game the. What's wrong with you, pal? No wedding ring, saying things in the wrong order. Everything didn't seem right, pal. Is everything okay at home? And then we have Lady Bálor and the Big Schneck telling Ronda Rousey that her achievements inside UFC mean absolutely nothing in WWE. Now there's one thing I'd say to that, of course, and that's tell that to Brock Lesnar, who wrestles 6 times a year for more money than there is on planet Earth itself. Respect my authority! And next up we have Ronda Rousey asking why the McMahons signed her with ulterior motives in mind. Do you even watch wrestling, bro? You claim you grew up a fan, you claim you've always wanted to do the graps inside the grappling ring, but you don't know the McMahons are a bunch of wrong'uns? Not like that. What I'm saying is the McMahons aren't very nice people, and you would know this if you actually watched the graps and were a fan, Ronda, you numpty. And next up we have the numpties, otherwise known as the McMahons, otherwise known as Lady Bálor and the Schneck, who claim that Kurt Angle has cost Ronda Rousey and WWE millions and millions and millions of dollars, and I don't understand how. As for Ronda, she's still gonna get a massive downside. She's still gonna get a WrestleMania payday, given that her WWE contract is over many, many, many years. She's gonna be involved in many big bouts with many big paydays as well. The only thing that I can see costing Ronda Rousey money is WWE not booking her for events they've actually advertised her for, costing Ronda Rousey that sweet little appearance fee they all presumably get, like the footballers maybe, I don't know if they do. And of course WWE not booking Ronda Rousey for events they've actually advertised her for not only costs her money, but it costs them money because they lose all of the faith of their beloved fans who no longer want to pay for tickets because they don't know what they're going to get anymore. Call me Inspector Morse. Now she might be the baddest woman on the planet, she might be Kurt Angle's latest wife, but Kurt Angle does not know Ronda Rousey's name, for he called her Ronda Rowdy live on last night's Raw. Kurt, man, how are you? You're not called Kurt Olympic Hero or Kurt Wrestling Machine, are you? You're Kurt Angle. In fact, he might not know anymore since he seems to be dead behind the eyes. And with that, all of a sudden, WWE turned into Hyacinth Bouquet, spelled B-U-C-K-E-T, of course. They're hot trailer park trash, pretending to be something posher than they actually are. According to Jonathan Coachman, WWE's face-offs are classy, they're professional. Jonathan Coachman, they never pissing happen. And when they do, every bastard blue moon, the table of the contract is signed on always ends up broken, just as it did last night. Coach, much like Ronda Rousey, I'm here to ask you, do you even watch wrestling, bro? Because if you did, you knew that thing last night was not going to end well.
Made a grave mistake, Corey.
And next up, Corey Graves claims that John Cena has done anything and everything to get The Undertaker's attention, so The Undertaker will do the graps with John Cena at WrestleMania. And to that I say, Corey, bollocks. He shouted like a sassy bitch on Raw. He has left a few passive-aggressive Instagram posts like a prepubescent girl. But John, how about you give the bloke a call? How about you go round to that poor old knackered goat's house? How about you just leave the poor old bastard alone to enjoy his retirement, for you have claimed on many occasions you don't mind going to WrestleMania as a fan. What a load of rubbish this build has been. Now, I've tried to avoid this, but seeing the trophy in the flesh last night on Raw means I can no longer avoid it. Why, of all the shapes in the entire world, did WWE have to pick a fallopian tube and a uterus to base their Women's Battle Royal trophy on? Oh my god. We get it, they're women, we don't need it spelling out so blatantly like that monstrosity there. Literally anything else would have been better here. Anything.
Made a grave mistake, Corey.
And next up we have Corey Graves, who claims that winning the Women's Battle Royal at WrestleMania will propel Sonya Deville's confidence to the very next stratosphere. One problem there, Corey, there's only one stratosphere. And next up we have Sasha Banks, who was all like, I've just saved you, raise my hand. Sasha, nobody asked you to do that. Stop asking for people to pat you on the back. Let's claim this to firemen why they're pissed not when they've just pulled you out of a burning car. They want their hands raised too, don't they? No, they're just doing their job, which is what your job is as her best pal. Maybe. Now, we all know that professional wrestling is much better when there's something on the line, but when Michael Cole claims that WrestleMania momentum is on the line, I can't help but think he's talking absolute bollocks. WWE put way too much emphasis on momentum here. It's not even a real tangible thing, so why are they battling for that thing that's not even real? It's wrestling. October the 7th, 2015, an undefeated campaign was born. And now, 908 days later, that streak is brown bread because 811 days ago, Eve Marie eliminated Asuka from a battle royal and laughed in the face of this undefeated campaign. Never forget. How Finn, you fat bastard, get into WrestleMania shape, will you? You've got more chins than me. Michael Cole has a child. Jesus, web toothpaste in his hair dye. Maggle, 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 maggle. And next up we have a direct quote from Michael Cole when he said, Rollins, dramatic pause, driven into the shoulder by your boy Finn Bálor. That wasn't a direct quote at all. Now, Maggle, the only shoulder that big grey thing there could belong to is an elephant, and I didn't see an elephant at ringside, so it couldn't. JBL? On the pre-show, that means this Sunday, John O'Clock t-shirts on sale Friday to Tuesday. How man Jonathan Coachman, how many times have we got to say this? He cannot claim the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal as a match that launches careers and then bring up Cesaro, who had a failed singles push after his win, and Baron Corbin, who won it 2 years ago but finds himself back in the match this year that supposedly launched his career. And next up we have Michael Cole, who claims that Brock Lesnar as WWE Universal Champion is a year-long odyssey, and that had me all like, what the hell? No, hold up. But then I realised by its very definition that an odyssey is a series of wanderings and adventures, and Brock Lesnar has been wandering away from WWE at any given bastard opportunity. Therefore, it's right. It's Wonky Nose Dudley, Bubba Ray Strowman, Devon, get these hands. Oh. Matt Hardy's WWE debut 1994, Goldust WWE debut 1995. The fact that these two weird men are in a singles match on WWE Raw in 2018 is absolute pissing madness. So according to Jonathan Coachman, a twist of fate or any other move for that fact is not going to be successful in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal match on Sunday. Presumably, Jonathan Coachman thinks that all that happens in Battle Royals is the wrestlers try to throw each other over the top rope with no moves being used trying to wear each other down. Bro, you really haven't watched any wrestling, have you? Here's a direct quote from Mickie James. Wait, did you say blubber? I sure did, Piggy James. It's alright when the shoe's on the other foot, isn't it, you prick? Poor Nia Jax, man, Christ. And this time we have John Cena, who claims he did anything and everything he could in the ring on social media, trying to stir things up like a Poundland Gordon Ramsay. Again, for Christ's sake, John, this isn't everything you could have done because, as we all know, The Undertaker is not on social media, so he wouldn't have seen you on Twitter or Instagram. And I reckon after 30 years in WWE, he's pissing sick of wrestling and doesn't watch Raw on the weekly. Just give him a bell, you bellend. And next up, Large Bow Jonathan claims if the fans want to summon Taker's lightning, they need to bring the thunder first. Although if I'm not mistaken, Large Bow Jonathan, the lightning always comes before the thunder, doesn't it? And then gigantic contest, John shouts like a sassy bitch claiming, Hotlanta, you need to shout your ass. Let them hear your ass all the way in Death Valley. Death Valley, of course, a place that doesn't have electricity nor televisions. John getting those fans to do that call was as useful as a cock-flavoured lollipop. If you don't like the taste of cock, that is. And next up, gargantuan Jewel. John claims that if you ignore these people, you're a dead man walking. We have to stand here now then and say rest in peace, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, for pushing the big dog down our throats. What the hell does he mean, pawn shop where Kurt Angle sold off his gold medals? Have I missed something here? I thought it was just Sonny who sold off her wrestling-related prized possessions. What the hell's that creep doing in a dark room all on his own? I'll tell you what, sexual wank pheasant. And here is your weekly reminder that there is the Nia Jax who apparently grew up as an outcast on the outside and all of that rubbish. Do they not know the internet is a thing and that human beings actually have fingers to search stuff with? Asuka and Dana Brooke, the most random parents since Coca-Cola and charcoal. I bet that fooled you, didn't it? And if you don't get the reference, please Google it, for we are pressed for time. Vince McMahon likes big sweaty men. Vince McMahon likes big sweaty men. Vince McMahon. And that's it for all of your WTF moments from this week's episode of WWE Raw. Thank you for being a sexual wank pheasant. I've been Ross from Cultaholic.com. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at Ross on Wrestling. You can head over our Patreon page, patreon.com/Cultaholic. There's many tiered rewards, and any money you can afford to give, we will greatly appreciate and then put back into the business to make more of this content that you crave so dearly. But most importantly, do not forget to join us in every form of social media apart from a message in a bottle.